And I just want to take a few examples from the scripture. The first example that I want to take is from the book of Exodus. Now, this is when Moses was leading the Israelites and the mixed group of people out from Egypt, and they came face to face with the Red Sea, and we can probably imagine a lot of wailing and crying and blaming and finger pointing, and why did you take us out of Egypt to die here? And Moses turns around and says, you're going to see the salvation of the Lord. But there must have been something in between when he said that to this next verse, where verse 15, where the Lord turns around to Moses and says, "Why do you cry to me? Tell the people of Israel to go forward. Lift up your rod and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, and the Israelites shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea." And this is actually really interesting, I think, because at some point in time, Moses must have turned to God and said, this is what you've said, and this is the situation. What's happening? Why aren't you doing something about it? And then God turns around and says, why are you crying to me? You do something. I've given you this power. I've given you this authority. You do something. And this will be the effect. The effect was that the sea would part and the Israelites would go through that dry land. But without Moses actually doing something, there wouldn't have been an effect. And it makes me think about a story. I don't know whether you've heard it. It's about a man who's out at sea and there's a storm. And he's praying and praying and he's asking God to save him and deliver him from the storm. And then God sends numerous rescuers to come to and save him. There's a lifeboat, there's a helicopter, there's one of those people who specialise in what are they called? Anyway, there's plenty of different people that come to this guy's rescue, and he rejects all of them. And when his boat finally capsizes and he's in the water, he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And God's like, well, I sent all these people to come and rescue you, but you didn't do anything. And sometimes we are waiting for God to open up the sea for us and to do all kinds of things for us. But actually, he's saying, well, I've already done my bit. I've done my bit in the spiritual. The next is for you to do something to have an effect in the natural. And I just want to illustrate with just this one last scripture. And this is from James 2. And James is really talking about two things which we often separate, faith and works. And he's saying that they're inseparable. He's basically saying, you show me faith and I'll show you faith by my works. I'll read it to you just so that I'm not jumbling it up. What is the use or profit, my brethren, for anyone to profess to have faith if he has no works to show for it? Can such faith save his soul? If a brother or sister is poorly clad and lacks food for each day, and one of you says to him, "Goodbye, keep yourself warm and well fed," without giving him the necessities for the body, what good does that do? So also faith, if it does not have works, deeds and actions of obedience to back it up, by itself it is destitute of power, inoperative, dead. It has no impact.